Is Nikon about to make its boldest move yet? For the past 2 years, the spotlight has been locked on speed. We have seen the Z8 and the Z9 dominate every conversation. Everything has been about fast bursts and blackout-free shooting. We have seen sports dominance and wildlife power. Every headline has focused on performance under pressure. But something has been missing. Something quieter has been pushed to the side. Something more deliberate is waiting in the wings. There is a specific group of photographers who feel left behind. These are the people who care less about frames per second. They care more about perfection per frame. They have been waiting for a long time. That wait may finally be over. The Nikon Z7 III is no longer just a rumor floating in the shadows. The leaks are growing stronger every day. The details are becoming much clearer now. If even half of what we are hearing is true, this camera is special. It is not just another refresh of an old model. It is a massive statement from Nikon. To understand why this matters, we need to step back for a moment. When the Z8 launched, many people asked a simple question. They wondered if the Z7 line even needed to exist anymore. The Z8 delivers 45 megapixels. It shoots incredibly fast. It focuses like a flagship camera. It records serious professional video. On paper, the Z8 feels like a complete package. It seems to do everything well. So where does that leave the Z7 III? This is where things get very interesting for photographers. The Z8 is built around a stacked sensor. That design allows for extreme readout speeds. It enables that famous blackout-free shooting experience. It reduces rolling shutter to almost nothing. But every design has trade-offs in the real world. Stacked sensors are very complex. They generate a lot of heat during use. The image quality is excellent, but there is a small compromise. At base ISO, there is a slight hit to absolute dynamic range. For many photographers, that compromise. At base ISO, there is a slight hit to absolute dynamic range. For many photographers, that compromise does not matter at all. But for landscape shooters, it matters a lot. Imagine capturing a sunrise over the mountains. Or imagine a studio professional photographing luxury products. In these worlds, even a small difference in quality matters. These photographers are not chasing speed. They are not trying to catch a bird in flight. They are chasing purity. They want the cleanest file possible. This is exactly where the Z7 III is rumored to strike. The biggest leak points toward a brand new sensor. It is expected to be a high-resolution BSI CMOS sensor. Crucially, it will likely not be stacked. It will not be a speed-first design. It will be a resolution-first design. The number being whispered is 61 megapixels, though some leaks suggest a staggering 67 megapixel monster sensor. If that becomes a reality, Nikon is changing the game. They are no longer just competing with themselves. They are going directly after Sony's high-resolution territory. But this is not just about matching a high number. Anyone can increase the megapixels on a spec sheet. What really matters is how those pixels behave. A non-stacked sensor can be tuned differently. It can be optimized for maximum dynamic range. This could deliver much cleaner shadows. It could offer lower base ISO noise. Photographers want more flexible RAW files. They want files that can be pushed and pulled in editing. They want to adjust the exposure without the image breaking apart. Landscape photographers need to stretch their files in post-processing. They want to do this without any fear of noise. This is where the real battle begins for Nikon. If Nikon manages to get over 15.5 stops of dynamic range, everything changes. Dynamic range is not just a marketing trick for brochures. It is something you can see with your eyes. It is the difference between a blown-out white sky and detailed clouds. It is the difference between crushed black shadows and rich textures. It is what makes a photo go from good to breathtaking. There is also strong talk about improved technology. People are excited about the new pixel shift mode. Imagine starting with 61 megapixels as your base. Now imagine pixel shift generating a massive file. We are talking about 180 megapixels. It could even reach 240 megapixels. This is a composite file made of multiple shots. For architecture and fine art, this is a dream come true. It is perfect for commercial studio work. That is not just an impressive stat. It is practical power for a working professional. Nikon needs to make this process easy. If they process these files in the camera, it is a huge win. Professionals do not want to use complex external software. They value speed in their workflow. They want to see the results quickly. This brings us to the processing power of the new camera. With such high resolution, data flow becomes a serious challenge. Massive files demand serious hardware inside the body. The Z7 III is rumored to use the new Expeed 8 processor. Without this chip, none of these features would work smoothly. With it, everything changes for the better. Expeed 8 means a much faster startup time. It means you can review your images without waiting. It allows for deeper buffers when you are shooting. You will see less lag when navigating the menus. This matters more than most people realize. When you are shooting 67-megapixel RAW files, delays are frustrating. You do not want to wait for the camera to catch up. A modern processor is not a luxury in this case. It is an absolute necessity for the user experience. Storage is another key part of this big equation. The likely setup is one CF Express Type B slot and one SD slot. Some professionals want two CF Express slots for maximum speed. That would be the ideal setup for many. However, it increases the cost of the camera. It also makes the body larger and heavier. Nikon will likely aim for a perfect balance here. They want speed from the CF Express slot. They want compatibility from the SD card slot. Now, we must talk about the autofocus system. This is an area where Nikon cannot afford to fail. The good news is very promising. Deep learning AI autofocus is expected to carry over. It will come from Flagship tech, potentially enhanced by the Red Digital Cinema acquisition. This means excellent subject detection for humans and animals with surgical precision. It will track birds and vehicles with ease. The eye tracking needs to lock on and stay locked. This is vital for a resolution-focused camera. A high megapixel file reveals every single mistake. If your focus is slightly off, you will see it immediately. You cannot hide a soft focus with that many pixels. Precision matters more than ever at high resolutions. We must remember something very important about this camera. The Z7 III will not match the Z8 in raw speed. And the truth is, it should not try to. The sensor readout will be slower than a stacked design. This means rolling shutter may be more visible. You might see it when shooting fast-moving objects. The burst rates will likely be lower as well. And that is perfectly fine for this target audience. This camera is not designed for Olympic sprinters. It is not for the sidelines of a football game. It is designed for mountain peaks at sunrise. It is for carefully composed portraits in a studio. It is for architectural lines that demand perfect geometry. With high resolution comes another huge requirement. You need extreme stability to get the best results. We expect Nikon to use their latest stabilization system. It could offer up to 8 stops of vibration reduction. This might even be linked to the active focus point. That small detail matters a lot. When you shoot handheld at 60 megapixels, movement is your enemy. Even tiny vibrations from your hands become visible. Strong image stabilization is not an optional feature here. It is critical to the success of the camera. Now, let's discuss the physical body of the camera. One of the biggest reasons people stayed with the D850 was size. The Z8 is a powerful tool, but it is not small. It is a heavy camera to carry all day. For hikers and travel photographers, every gram matters. They are carrying their gear up long trails. The Z7 III is expected to keep a compact form factor, similar to the Z6 III but with more robust internals. It will likely use a weather-sealed magnesium alloy body. This makes it durable and professional. But it will also be lighter and easier to pack in a bag. That alone makes it very attractive. It is perfect for photographers who climb mountains before the sun comes up. There is a debate happening around the rear screen. The 4-axis tilting screen on the Z8 is loved by many. It tilts vertically and it tilts horizontally. It works very well with L brackets for tripod work. However, many people want fully articulating flip-out screens for hybrid use. If Nikon sticks with a dual-axis tilt, they send a clear message: this is a photography-first tool. The electronic viewfinder is another area of focus. High-resolution cameras demand high-resolution viewfinders. You need to see the fine details clearly. You need to check your manual focus on the stars. You need to evaluate sharpness in real time. A $5.76 million viewfinder feels like the minimum requirement, though some hope for a $9.44 million panel to rival Sony. Brightness is also a major factor. Outdoor photographers often work in very harsh light. A dim viewfinder is incredibly frustrating to use. If Nikon matches the brightness of their newer bodies, the experience will be great. We also have to address the video capabilities. Even if this is a photo camera, video cannot be ignored. People expect 8K 60p recording in a high-end body now, especially with red color science potentially integrated. That red connection is the real wild card. Imagine Nikon stills with Hollywood-grade skin, tones and internal RAW video. It could turn this stills camera into a cinema powerhouse for those who don't mind the rolling shutter. In my opinion, the Nikon Z7 III is exactly what the market needs right now. For too long, we have equated flagship only with speed. But for many of us, the ultimate camera is the one that captures the most detail with the most soul. By potentially moving to a 67-megapixel sensor and focusing on dynamic range, Nikon is honoring the legacy of the D850. They are creating a tool for the artist, the perfectionist, and the quiet observer. This is the medium format killer we've been waiting for. It balances modern AI autofocus with traditional image quality values. If you are a landscape or studio photographer, this is likely the upgrade you have been waiting for. Nikon isn't just catching up, they're aiming to take the crown back. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon.